Architraves have been in homes for the longest times, and most people don't even know what they are. Architraves are mainly seen as something to make the door frames and the door itself look much more appealing to the eye. While true, this is not the only reason why architrave exists. The term architrave was conjured up some 40,000 years ago by the ancient Greeks. The word architrave came from the word epistyle. Epistyle was translated into the word architrave, and this is how the term became mainstream. Architraves back then were not the architraves as we know it today. Instead, these played a much bigger part of the building structure. The architrave was called a main beam, forming a join from two columns on the side. The main beam would join at the top and would feature elaborate designs to show power from various parts of Greece. Structures back then were made of stone, and thus the architraves themselves also had to be tough to bear the weight of the load to keep it from collapsing. Architraves finally started to take a modern shape during the Tudor times. In these times, houses started to change from being made from stone to bricks. The house design philosophy also changed. The houses were smaller, and masses of them had to be built to accommodate the ever-increasing population. Structures used to be built with architraves as the support beam. Now this was no longer the case. Back then, door frames would have issues with gaps appearing where the door joined with the wall. In Tudor times, it was decided that each room had to be very important in the more powerful and richer houses. To do this, the architrave was turned into a set, with two legs and a head. Eventually, a big change was made during the Victorian era. While they kept the use of the Tudors' idea of an architrave, they expanded on it and turned it into a fashion feature. Wood was also seen as easier to take care of, and the designs were carved into the profiles. This helped to make doors stand out and helped make homes stand out even more. While the actual use for architrave hasn't changed, the way it's seen and the way it's made is changing. First, people can now have different thickness sizes, different lengths, and new profiles to suit their needs. This was not possible years ago due to the cost, as only wealthy people could afford the expensive architrave. The public can now decide what designs suit their home and in what sizes. Secondly, architraves are now made of either hardwood, softwood, and more commonly MDF. With architrave now seen as part of the house experience, many companies have now made different profiles to keep demand for architraves up. And that concludes our video. Hopefully you found it useful and insightful, and until next time, we will see you in our next video.